For decades, Gremlins has been a beloved holiday classic, skillfully blending horror with humor in a way that has earned it a spot in Christmas movie traditions. While it has certainly earned its place as a gateway horror film, the original script for Gremlins was much darker and more brutal than the version that ultimately made it to the big screen. In a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Chris Columbus, the screenwriter of Gremlins, discussed how the initial script contained a higher body count and more graphic violence. One of the most shocking elements that didn't make the final cut was the planned death of Lynn Peltzer, played by Frances Lee McCain, Billy's mother. Originally, her character was scripted to be decapitated, but this fate was spared during rewrites. Columbus also revealed that the family dog, Barney, was supposed to have a much more gruesome end. Rather than being harmlessly hung up in Christmas lights, the dog was originally going to be killed by the Gremlins. "I think the dad stayed behind and fought the Gremlins. I don't quite remember if he survived," Columbus said. The mom certainly didn't. Billy ran into the foyer of his house, and his mom's head came rolling down the stairs. So there were some deaths. And Barney the dog was not so lucky to just be hung up in the Christmas lights. He was actually hung up by his neck and died. "We killed the dog." Despite these darker elements, producer Steven Spielberg played a major role in softening the film's violence. Columbus admitted that, at the time, he didn't feel he could push back against Spielberg's suggestions to tone down the graphic moments. However, there was one particular scene that the filmmakers fought to keep, and it's one of the most memorable and tragic moments in the final film. Phoebe Cates' character, Kate Beringer, tells a heartbreaking story of how her father died on Christmas Eve, dressed as Santa Claus, trying to enter their home through the chimney. According to Columbus, the studio wanted to cut this dark backstory, but Spielberg, director Joe Dante, and Columbus himself fought hard to keep it in the film. "We ended up with the story of Phoebe Cates' father dying in the chimney, and the studio wanted to cut it," Columbus recalled. "Steven and Joe Dante, and I fought for that. That was one thing I did fight for at the time." This dark, tragic moment helped set Gremlins apart from other holiday films and gave the movie its unique, offbeat charm. Despite its violent potential and darker elements, Gremlins has endured as a holiday favorite, and now, fans can revisit this classic horror comedy streaming on Max.